Why are Indian women not getting married anymore? Not just Indian. According to this tweet, 50% of women aged between 20 to 24 were married in 1950. Now it's not even 10%. I don't know if these numbers are accurate because it's a tweet, and yeah, they do sound a little exaggerated. But it would be accurate to say that, yeah, women are less likely to get married these days. And the age at which they get married is also getting higher. Earlier, women were married when they were much younger. Some people say that is because women have started earning and working. And working women are too independent. They don't want to get married anymore. Good morning. I'm Divaja Bhasin, a counseling psychologist and a content creator. Feel free to follow me on Instagram if you want. Today we're going to be talking about why Indian women are choosing to stay single and not get married. And if that is even true, I came across this reel.
में देखोगे लड़का 1.5 लाख कमा रहा है, वो शादी कर लेगा, चाहे वो हाउसवाइफ हो लड़की, मतलब जीरो अर्निंग, हाउसवाइफ अपने आप में बड़ा काम है। आप देखो एक लड़की जो 2 लाख कमा रही है ना, इनफ है एक मिडिल क्लास इंसान के लिए। वो 50,000 वाले लड़के से कभी शादी नहीं करेगी। जैसी वो 2 लाख कमाने लगी, उस लड़की को चाहिए 5 लाख वाला।
एग्जैक्टली
समझ रहे हो? तो पहला फिल्ट्रेशन तो आपने यही लगा दिया कि एज ए फीमेल आप चूज ही नहीं कर रहे अपने से बराबर या नीचे वाला। और जो कर भी लेती हैं, मान लो जो लड़की 2 लाख कमा रही है और उसने 50,000 लाख वाला मेल चूज भी कर लिया, वो उसके साथ रिलेशनशिप में आ भी गई, वहां पर कितनी फीमेल्स हैं जो अपने फेमिनाइन नेचर में फिर रह पाती हैं।
Feminine nature? What does that even mean? So in the beginning of the video, he tried to suggest that women as a gender are gold diggers and they don't marry men if they don't earn more than them, unless they provide. I know a lot of men believe that this is true, that all women are after money and that's why they want to marry rich men, so that they can sit at home, do nothing and just enjoy their life. And while that may be true for some women, most working women are actually looking for men who earn more, because that is all men bring to the table when it comes to marriage: money. Let me explain. What is marriage? It's not just a cultural thing. To put it simply, it's a relationship where two people live together. And living together means managing the house. Now, how many men know how to do that? How many men are willing to do that? Willing to wash clothes, do the dishes, make food? The answer is not many. In fact, most men don't want to do these things. Now, you might say that some men do help around the house, they help their wives. You know, like buying dhania on their way from work to home. That's the problem. The word help. Repeat after me. Doing household chores is an equal responsibility for a man, especially if both the man and the woman have jobs outside the house. When a man does household chores, he's not helping his wife, because that implies that it's her main job and he's just helping her. No, he's doing his part. He is also wearing those clothes, he is also eating that food, and he's also using those dishes. I saw this really good post on Instagram. There are no men that help women with housework. There are either men who do their housework or men who don't do their housework. We must realize the fraud in our language. We're taught to think that he's the one helping her when he's doing his housework. But actually, she's the one helping him when she's doing it for him. Unfortunately, even when both partners have jobs outside the house, women are usually the ones who do all the household chores. And this happens in educated urban households and also in households where people are from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. For example, the lady who cooks in my house, she was telling me that she cooks in 3 other houses apart from mine. She starts her day at 7 am and she's out of the house by then, and she comes back by 7 or 8 pm. Her husband also goes out for work for his job and he comes back home before her because he has a typical 9 to 5 type of job. But he still doesn't cook. Ever. She has to make all the meals even though she comes back after him. How is that fair? He gets to chill at home after his job, whereas her work doesn't end. And this is a reality for most women. So there's your answer. That's why women are looking for rich partners. Because if not doing chores, at least bring something to the table. Why would a woman marry a man who earns less than her and doesn't want to do the work in the house? Even though there are exceptions, most women are gold diggers because of the system that we've created. A system that we as a society have created where women are dependent on men for money, where men refuse to do household chores. And we're going to understand how this system works in this video. In India, marriage is not a relationship. It's not about romance and it's not about love. It's a contract to get an unpaid maid who does all your household chores for you for free. And the rituals of a marriage portray this. Like, why is there a ritual called Pehli Rasoi that translates to first kitchen, For those of you who don't know, it's a ritual in North India where the daughter in law of the house on the first day after getting married goes to the kitchen and makes halwa for everyone while being dressed up as a bride. How and why is making food in the kitchen a ritual as part of a wedding? Why are we romanticizing your daughter in law being an unpaid cook on the first day that she comes and stays with you in your house? And notice how she's all dressed up compared to the rest of the people in the house, especially her husband, who also got married to her just yesterday. We will discuss this later in the video. And not only that, she also has to serve everyone and take their blessings by touching their feet. Because apparently, the people in the house can't serve themselves and can't take the food that she's made from the kitchen. This video is not me telling you how to live your life. This video is just to make you think about the things we all accept because we see everyone else doing them. Most people make these decisions because they've been told to. They aren't aware about what they're getting into or what these rituals imply. Marriage in India is not about the relationship. It's more about convincing a woman to come and take care of your house for you. And somehow she has to pay for all of this? With this whole expectation of dowry, it is so ridiculous to me that men and their family expect women to pay money in exchange for getting married. As if men do so much and they're so cool and so important that a woman should have to pay him just to be able to marry him. Just watch this reel.
लव मैरिज
अरेंज मैरिज।
तो लव क्यों नहीं?
उसमें दहेज नहीं मिलता ना।
एक परिवार आपको अपनी लड़की दे रहा है जो आपके घर का सारा काम करेगी, झाड़ू मारेगी, पोछा मारेगी, बर्तन धोएगी, और आप दहेज की एक्सपेक्टेशन कर रहे हो।
तो मैम हमने तो लड़की वालों को दोनों ऑप्शन दे दिए हैं।
क्या ऑप्शन दिए आपने?
अगर वो दहेज देंगे तो आपकी लड़की टाइल पे पोछा लगाएगी, और अगर दहेज नहीं देंगे तो फिर गोबर से उसको घर सीपना पड़ेगा।
अच्छा, और
अगर दहेज देंगे तो इलेक्ट्रिक चूल्हे पे खाना बनाने को मिलेगा, और अगर दहेज नहीं देंगे तो फिर लक्कड़ बीन के लाएगी, फिर जलाएगी, फिर बनाएगी।
और लड़की वालों ने क्या क्या फिर?
तो कुछ नहीं, 33 लाख पे मामला सेट हुआ है।
I literally have no words. This is our culture. This is what marriage means to young men in our country. Just look at what these men are wearing. They're wearing Western clothes. And yet they're going to go on about how dowry is part of the culture and we should follow our culture. Also, these are the same men who'll call women gold diggers. Unpopular opinion, but men and their families who ask women for dowry are literally gold diggers. They're also criminals. Asking for dowry is literally illegal. So these days they call it gifts instead. I actually think that women should be the ones asking for dowry because they are the ones who are doing all the unpaid labor in the house. I'm not the only one who thinks that. The guy in the video also talked about all the unpaid labor that the woman will be doing for him. I'm sure hearing me say that women should ask for dowry annoyed some of you. I want you to ask yourself why. If me suggesting that women should ask for dowry makes you angry, think about why men asking for dowry doesn't. Why are you okay with that? The concept of a wedding is sold to women as soon as they're born. They're not brought up to be people. They're brought up to be wives. Look at this reel.
यहाँ बस एक ही सवाल है, कैंची की तरह जुबान चलाने लग गई है। संभाल अपने आप को, तुझे एक दिन दूसरे घर जाना है, वहाँ ये तेवर नहीं चलेंगे तेरे।
This is something that most girls are told while growing up, that they need to be submissive and not say anything. Because what if their in-laws or husbands that don't even exist don't like it? Little girls are told this. They're told to keep their mouths shut. And they have to learn to adjust as soon as they're born. Think about a typical Indian wedding. Notice how women are at the center of the whole wedding. Mangal Sutra, Sindoor, Chuda, Vidai, Kanyadan. All of these rituals are surrounding women, even though a wedding is for both a man and a woman. Weddings are marketed as this humongous life event for women. They have to spend months, almost a year, looking for the perfect outfit, find stylists, find makeup artists. Some of them have to lose a lot of weight so that they look the most beautiful they ever have in their life. Some get makeup put to go by the beauty standards where they are like 10 shades lighter than they actually are. They get beauty treatments done, get their nails done. Everything is orchestrated to the fullest. And men, they mostly just show up. They don't have to do even half the stuff that a woman has to do. I have seen some grooms show up to their weddings without even shaving properly. And you'll also often see women leaving their jobs when they're about to get married. Why? Because they have to prepare for the wedding. But you'll never ever hear a man leaving his job to prepare for his wedding. The idea of a big Indian wedding assumes that one of the two partners is free enough to plan it. And it's usually the woman. It's not just the girl's fault, and nor is the guy forcing her to do that. That's just how our society is. The girl's parents will often encourage the girl to leave her job so she can plan the wedding and settle down now. Because marriage is apparently the most important event of their life, bigger than their career, bigger than their friendships, bigger than anything else. But somehow, it's not the same for men. It's important for them, but it's not like something that stops their life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have huge weddings or huge celebrations. If you want to have a huge wedding, go ahead. Get married in a way that makes you happy. I'm not talking about everyone who celebrates the wedding in a huge way. I'm specifically talking about people who use marriage as a tool to cage women. So if that doesn't apply to you, then this video is not about you. For some reason, women are always told this idea of happily ever after. And this concept is decorated with all of these cool, fancy, sparkly things and ideas like the blushing bride, the glow after a wedding. But no one ever talks about the ever after part of the happily ever after. Is that ever after actually happy for most women? Recently, this movie came out. It's called Mrs. It's a remake of this other movie called The Great Indian Kitchen. And this is the ground reality for most women in India.
वाईफाई पासवर्ड
A1 B2 C3 D4 E5 F6
लो जी लग गया कनेक्शन वेलकम टू द फैमिली अब आप हमारी बेटी हो
मुबारक सफर
घर कैसा लगा
अच्छा
और घर वाला
मम्मी जी प्याज फूड प्रोसेसर में ग्राइंड कर दो।
रहने दी, तुम्हारे पापा जी को चटनी भी सिलबट्टे की चाहिए।
तुम्हारी सास कह रही थी कि खाना बनाते वक्त तुम्हें चुगने की आदत है।
सब्जी काटने के साइज से उसके स्वाद का पता लगता है।
मम्मी हल्दी दही में डालनी है या तड़के में? कैसा बना?
नमक कम है।
हेल्प नहीं है मम्मा कोई, दिवाकर काम से आके थक जाते हैं और यहाँ काम खत्म ही नहीं होता।
ये सब तो सीखना पड़ेगा ना रिचू।
The problem is not even marriage, you know. The problem is the way marriage is seen by the society. Think about it. What is marriage? It's just a relationship between two people that is recognized by the law. Who decided that women have to leave their house and go live with their in-laws? Who decided that this has to be a part of the concept of marriage? It is incredibly hard to do this as a woman. Your whole life changes. Your bedroom, your cupboard, the atta that you use, everything.
दिन है ससुराल में, मुझे तो सुबह उठने की आदत भी नहीं है। एक काम करती हूँ, 4-5 अलार्म लगा के रखती हूँ। 10 बजे से पहले तो उठ ही जाऊंगी। टाइम से तो उठ गई, पर मैं नहा के बाहर जाऊँ या बिना नहाए बाहर जाऊँ, जब तक मम्मी 5 गाली नहीं देती, मुझे नहाने की तो आदत भी नहीं है। तो नहीं बहू, 24 घंटे मुझे तैयार होके रहना पड़ेगा। और घर पे तो मैं पूरे दिन शॉर्ट्स पहन के घूमती थी। मेरे घर पे तो मैं अपने कपड़े वॉशिंग मशीन में फेंक देती थी। यहाँ पे मुझे अपने कपड़े खुद धोने पड़ेंगे, और धो भी दूंगी तो सुखाऊंगी कहाँ?
Nitika just got married and moved to her husband's house where he lives with his family. In just one night, his family is hers. It starts small. I love Bengan ka bharta. None of his family members like it. I'll just make something that everyone eats. It's okay. My favorite night suit, the one with little hearts. It's kind of short. My new family will get uncomfortable. I just won't wear it. It's okay. I'm in pain, but here everybody wakes up at 7 a.m. I'll get up early. It's okay. It gets easier with time. Just adjust for now. And don't cause trouble over such small things. You'll soon forget your old home and accept this as your own. That's how marriage works. It's okay. That's what Nitika's mother tells her. Because that's what her parents told her. For him, life is the same. Same bedroom. Same food. Same fridge. Same parents. Home is where the heart is. But only for her. For him, home is where his parents are. Women are uncomfortable the moment they shift into their in law's house. Not because all women hate their in laws or something, but because there are certain systems and processes that family follows. And as a woman, when you move into their house, you have to live with those systems and processes that are very different from what you've been brought up with. And you're expected to change everything just to fit in with that family. It's small things like how they make their dal, or like what quality of rajma they use, or maybe you like rice as a person and they like to eat roti. So you just adjust into that family, because who is going to add a whole new dish to the meal of a whole family? You're one person against three people, the husband and his parents. It's actually three people against one. No, wait, it's actually five people against one. Because the women's parents are part of this problem. They see their daughters as paraya dhan, or foreign property. So basically, once you're married as a woman, you're alone. Your family is no longer your family. Your family home is now your maika, and your in-laws home is your in-laws home. It's your husband's house. It's not your house. And even if they love you and they make you feel like you belong, it's still not going to be your house, not for a while at least. And you can't talk to your parents about it because they're going to tell you that this is how it is and you should just learn to adjust and be a good wife and accept whatever treatment you get from your in-laws, because they're your family now, and as if your parents are not your family anymore. Tell me, what is a woman getting from all of this? Why would she want to get married? I really think that parents who have daughters need to stop doing this. Instead of spending all of their money on their daughter's wedding, spend on her education. And spending on education is not enough. You have to encourage her to have a career, just like you would encourage your son. Make her independent, so she doesn't have to be an unpaid maid for someone else's son for the rest of her life. So she has an option. You'll often notice that parents save up money to send their son abroad to study, but they'll save up money for getting their daughter married off. Often, parents force their daughter to leave their job to get married. Most of the daughters in our country don't even get to have a career to begin with. For some reason, a woman who earns is seen as a bad woman who is not marriageable. Having a career is discouraged. Being independent as a woman is discouraged. And even if it's not discouraged, it's not actively encouraged for a woman to have a career. But unlike what people think, earning money does not make you a crazy feminist. It makes you have an option to leave in case things go bad. And things do go bad very often, because such things are normalized in our country.
यार आएगा यार आएगा कौन सा यार बोल जल्दी बोल तेरी बहन अरे सुन एक पेग तू भी मार ले आज
बेबी तुमको तो पता है मैं कहाँ पीती हूँ
अरे आजा बैठ जा यार आ बैठ ले पी
देखो तुम जिद कर रहे हो इसलिए पी रही हूँ
अरे पी ले यार अरे चकना वकना तो लिया अंदर से कि पड़ोसन को बुलाओ चकने के लिए
अरे पड़ोसन को छोड़ो उसके पति को बुलाओ
पति को क्यों
रात के 2 बजे पे कुछ मंगाओ तो फटाफट देने आ जाता है
अच्छा टूटा हुआ
अरे दे दे धूम्रपान करने का ही तो कब से मन कर रहा था मेरा माचिस दे अब माचिस भी क्या मेरा यार देने आएगा देना
तेरी बहन का दारू
तूने तो पिलाई थी
तेरी बहन
This video got so many likes. Can you imagine? This is how normalized domestic abuse is in our country. How normalized controlling your wife is. And no, I'm not supporting the alcoholism and cheating of the woman character in this video. This video is extremely problematic because it's normalizing domestic abuse. It makes hitting your wife seem like it's normal. And the audience finds it funny because it is normal. It is normalized. It's a part of marriage to be controlled by your husband and to serve him. On the other hand, if the man was cheating or if he was having alcohol, it would not be seen as a bad thing. When a woman moves to her in-laws' house after marriage, she's told that she has to live the way they live because marriage is all about compromise. I agree. Relationships, healthy relationships, have a lot of compromises. But why is this compromise only expected from women in our country? Why don't the in-laws also adjust with the woman? Why don't they create a supportive environment so she can feel more at home in that house? I'll tell you why. They don't care. It's just not a consideration. She is coming to our house, must follow our rules. Ma house, ma rules. I don't know about you, but I feel like that sounds like a little dictatorship. And then there's this whole other argument where in laws say that he's our son, he has to take care of us, that's why you should live with us. We're growing old. I agree, you're growing old and somebody has to take care of you. But what about the girl's parents? Are they not growing old? Do they not need someone to take care of them? Why aren't they given the same amount of importance? If their daughter was earning, she would be able to take care of her parents. She would have a say in the decisions about where the money is going in the house. She would have a say in her life. She wouldn't have to just follow the rules of the house because she also brings money to the house. When you don't earn as a daughter, you don't have anything to your name technically. What's worse is that parents never give their house to their daughters. I've seen it happen. Properties are never given to the daughters, they're given to the sons. It's almost as if this whole system of marriage and gender in our society is created in a way that women continue to be subjugated, that they never become financially independent. Why? Because it's easy to control a person when they have no money. Some people might get offended that I'm questioning the rituals of our culture and our traditions. My question to you is, are women the only people who are responsible for carrying forward our traditions and our culture? And is your culture so weak that it'll collapse if women stop serving men and start earning money? Is it even a culture at that point? Men don't have to wear anything special after they get married. They get to just exist as a person who happens to be married. Women, on the other hand, are expected to look like this shiny red bride. And they're encouraged to make that their whole personality. They even have to change their surname and take their husband's surname. Some places in India, women even change their whole first name and last name after they get married. Women have to look married after they're married, which I find so odd. Marriage is a part of your life. It's not your whole life. It's not your identity. It's not just my perspective. That is how men think. Because you'll never see a man wearing sindoor or red bangles or red anything after he gets married. Some men don't even wear their wedding bands after they're married. It's because they're seen as independent human beings who are not defined by their wife. However, all of the red lipstick, sindoor, mangalsutra, the whole look of a bride is tied to her identity of being a wife to her husband. She's no longer a woman, she's a wife. In our society, it's not man and woman, it's man and wife. And no, people are going to say that it's their choice. If it makes them happy, then let them do it. Who am I to say anything? Let me explain this with the concept called self-fulfilling prophecy in psychology. To explain it simply, it's like acting in accordance to the stereotypes that already exist, even if those stereotypes are not true, but we act in such a way that they become true. For example, a girl is told all her life that a wedding is very important in her life and that Mangalsutra is a very important part of being a bride. Being submissive and serving your husband is the most important part of being a woman. The girl will eventually start behaving that way, internalizing this feeling that, yeah, I am like that and I do want these things. Even if they don't actually like it, even if they have other dreams and passions. It's like manipulating yourself into thinking that you like all of these things because that's what you've been told by everyone around you. It reminds me of this quote I read. Just because you're used to the desert doesn't mean you don't deserve the ocean. Some researchers say that people act in accordance to these stereotypes because they want to feel like part of the crowd and they don't want to go against the crowd so they can protect themselves. It's also because human beings have a tendency to believe what others are saying, even if it's factually incorrect. We are like, they must be right if they're saying that. They must be coming from a sense of knowledge from somewhere or the other. It reminds me of this experience that I had in school, which is not related to marriage. I was really good at maths till class 6. Then in class 6, we had a maths teacher who she got a kick out of calling students to the board to complete sums in front of everyone. And once she called me, and I have a lot of public speaking anxiety. I know it's ironic, I'm making videos, but there's no one around me. I don't know how to speak in front of crowds, even now. But she called me to the board, and everyone was staring at me, so I wasn't able to do the sum. So she started humiliating me in front of everyone, and she started doing this in every class. And every class she would call me, and I wouldn't be able to solve the sum because I felt anxious because people were staring at me, not because I couldn't do it. But she labeled me as a weak student, and soon after a year, I labeled myself as a weak student, and all of my marks in maths started dropping. Person who used to get A plus started failing maths. In reality, I was not bad at maths, but I started believing that because that's what I was told, that's how I was made to feel. Coming back to the topic, women naturally and inherently don't like to cook. They don't like to serve their husbands. This is not something that instinctively, naturally exists in their personality as a woman. They are brought up to believe that they're like that. This is internalized misogyny. Women are sexist too. And this whole pattern of internalized misogyny is slowly breaking because women are no longer staying quiet because of social media.
संडे भी खा गई यार। 6 दिन ऑफिस के काम, 1 दिन घर का काम, मेरी छुट्टी कहाँ है? इतना तो कोई मुश्किल नहीं होता ऑटोमेटिक मशीन में कपड़े धोना। ये आदमी कम से कम ये तो कर सकता है ना, एक बटन ही तो प्रेस करना है। सिर्फ बाथरूम का टाइम ही मेरा मी टाइम रह गया है यार। जल्दी जल्दी खत्म कर लेती हूँ, नहीं तो मम्मी जी बोलेगी छुट्टी वाले दिन भी मेरे पास आके नहीं बैठी। लेटरिंग ना करूँ मैं? पूरा हफ्ता बाहर रहती है, एक दिन नहीं घर का काम किया जाता। अपने बेटे से करा लो ना। संडे खत्म हो गया यार, काम क्यों नहीं खत्म हो रहे घर के? संडे को किसी के घर जाना, किसी के घर आना बैन होना चाहिए। हाँ, अब सब आ रहे हैं, खाना बनाना पड़ेगा यार। कैसी लग रही हूँ मैं? शादी से पहले वाले संडों की ना कदर नहीं करी मैंने। हे भगवान, हफ्ते में से संडे उड़ा दे और संडे उड़ा दे, संडे उड़ा दे। ये कैसे शांति से संडे मना रहा है? इसे शर्म नहीं आती? इसकी बीवी काम कर करके मर गई, सड़ गई, कुछ नहीं है इसको। सो रहे हैं जनाब, थप्पड़ मारने का।
They're sharing their experiences, something that they were not able to do earlier.
नहीं रिशु, 3 दिन से मैं बाहर ही हूँ यार, लंच डिनर सब बाहर ही हो रहा है। फिर इनको लगेगा कि हमें यहाँ पे टाइम ही नहीं देती। परसों मम्मी जी बोल रही थी यार, नहीं फिर अच्छा नहीं लगता। नहीं नहीं नहीं, तुम लोग जाओ, मैं मिलती हूँ तुमसे, है ना? चल ओके बाय। तो तुम सब लोग ड्रेसेस पहन रहे हो? अच्छा तो ठीक है, मैं भी पहन लूँगी। तो मैं एक काम करूँगी, मैं यहाँ से सूट पहन के आऊँगी और तेरे घर पे चेंज कर लूँगी, है ना? नहीं, कोई मना नहीं करता है ड्रेस वेस पहनने के लिए, पर मुझे ऑकवर्ड लगता है, ऐसे किसी ने मना नहीं किया। हाँ, पर तेरे बर्थडे के दिन तो मेरे देवर का रोका है ना, तो कैसे आ पाऊंगी यार? नहीं यार, कैसी बातें करते हो? तू सेलिब्रेट कर लेना, मुझे वीडियो कॉल कर लेना। अगर मैं फंक्शन से फ्री हुई या मैं बिजी नहीं हुई कहीं, तो मैं उठा लूँगी, तो क्या हुआ? मैं लाउड स्पीकर पे फ़ोन रखूँगी, तुम्हें बस ऐसे बोलना है कि अगर तू नहीं चलेगी ना गोवा, तो हमारा प्लान भी कैंसिल हो जाएगा। कोई नहीं जाएगा, कोई नहीं जाएगा। हाँ, मेरी वजह से प्लान कैंसिल हो सकता है। ब्लेम मी फॉर एवरीथिंग। मुझे परमिशन की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं होता है, पर क्या है ना, फिर वो मुँह सड़ जाते हैं ना कुछ, तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा नहीं लगता। मैं अगले हफ्ते मम्मी के यहाँ पे जा रही हूँ। नहीं नहीं, तुम आओ यहाँ डिनर करने, पर यहाँ रुकना मत। मेरी मम्मी के यहाँ पे रुकेंगे। मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड हो रही हूँ अभी से। Love you guys.
I think it's great that these creators are showing what women go through in their daily life. And men are not happy about it. Not just men actually, even women who have internalized misogyny, it makes them uncomfortable to see other women talking about their problems, talking about their suffering. Because they have to then face the reality that women are suffering in marriages. To summarize, it's not that women don't want to get married anymore because they earn. Women want to get married. Working women also want to get married. Who doesn't want to love and be loved and have a partner? Marriage can be a beautiful thing. It just doesn't have to be messed up. Now women want to get married on their own terms, just like men have been for all of these years. And women are not even asking for dowry, nor are they asking men to serve them, nor are they asking men to be subjugated by them. They just want an equal partnership where they're given equal respect, where both partners work and both partners compromise. And working women are able to ask for this equality because they have less to lose. They are no longer 100% dependent on either their family or their partner. And that's a good thing. Tell me, who would want to get married if marriage meant being caged? It has taken years for women to break out of this cage and to realize that they can make their own decisions. We need to be proud of women who do this and not shame them. It is not feminine to ask your partner to do household chores with you. Being feminine does not have to mean submissive and serving your partner. Instead of questioning working women for not wanting to get married, We need to start questioning families. We need to start questioning the way they treat their daughters, the way they treat their daughter-in-laws, and what kind of treatment they're doing that's leading to women saying that they don't want to get married. We often put culture above people, and we stop seeing how that culture is harming the people. It's time that we put people above the culture, because culture does not exist on its own. The people make the culture. Women are not asking to be treated in a special way, they just want the same level of respect as men. It's as simple as that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.